Wolford for Terry Rozier straight away. 10 of the shot clock. Rozier to the elbow. Push pass out for Jaylen Brown. Lines up a left side three. Got it.
Kyle Korver just looked up like, what?
Celtics are 7 of 17 from distance. The Cavs 3 for 19. Tatum pull up on Thompson.
Oh!
Money. Drills another three.
Oh, man.
Tatum, where he's been very, very good today, is recognizing who the defender is in front of him and taking full advantage. Celtics by 26 again.
This is The Drive with Mark Pinatelli.
Sounds from the Celtics radio network. And game 2 of the best of 7 series slated tonight for 8:30 p.m. tip. And you can catch it right here on 252 ESPN Radio. 7:30 tonight, NBA draft lottery as well. And it's interesting. You know, the only thing that would make that super interesting, Sam, you and I talked about this, and it may have been off the air, right? About if something crazy happened. If
right.
a team that had no business winning it. And I think it's the Phoenix Suns who have the best chance of winning the number 1 pick. So, you know, something crazy. Like again, I'm not saying this from the local standpoint, but what I'm saying is the Charlotte Hornets do not have the most ping pong balls. The probability of them winning it is very unlikely.
They have a 0.8% chance to get the number 1 pick. The Hornets also have a 2.9% chance to get a top 3 pick. They are 11th. 11th in the slot.
And that's more than likely where they're going to end up.
Right.
And, you know, so one of those teams, like if Charlotte were to win the lot, and one of the top 3 picks, essentially, right? But that would make it interesting for me because I think it's been pretty predictable, right, in recent years.
Right. And I guess, see, normally I get excited about it because I like to watch the franchises who are historically bad have bad luck happen to them. Like if the New York Knicks were in a position this year where they could get a really high draft pick, they're slotted 9th. So,
right.
but say the Knicks had like the second best chance, and then they ended up falling to like the 6th pick.
Yes,
something like that gets me excited. But your top 3 this year is in highest chance: Phoenix, Memphis, Dallas.
Right.
I'm not necessarily like rooting against any of those teams. I guess if anything, I want to see Dallas get a possibly that number 1 pick so they can get old DSJ some help.
Well, one of the things people complain about is the tanking in the NBA. And this year, more than any other year, we've seen, I think, a collective of teams that have put a product out that was not great. And I think it was because they wanted to get a high draft choice, especially seeing how the Philadelphia 76ers have been able to pull that off. And you and I have talked, I think the only way you fix that is every team that's involved in the draft lottery, and this would make it incredibly exciting, is what if everybody had the same shot? If there's 12 teams, those 12 ping pong balls, everybody's got the same chance. That would be interesting because that would lead to, let's say, the Phoenix Suns, who could be have the highest percentage chance of winning it, that they would end up with the 12th pick. That would be interesting to me, too. That would also eliminate teams from tanking because you wouldn't be guaranteed this chance, the higher probability of winning the lottery.
Right, but I think the whole point, I mean, obviously what the NBA is going for is to try to promote parity. So this realistically is kind of the best way to do it. Now, to get here, you kind of shoot yourself in the foot in the whole parity thing when you have 12 teams that are saying, well, we're not trying to win. That's a quick way to eliminate parity when you talk about 40% of your league deciding they don't want to win. But, man, I love the lottery. I think it's a lot of fun. I always like to see who the teams choose to represent themselves. You know, they can always send someone up there. I know my favorite team for years was the Milwaukee Bucks because the Milwaukee Bucks owner has a daughter who's pretty close to my age. And let's just say I was a big fan. But my favorite thing about the lottery is now we get to start to play around with NBA drafts. Who's going to go where? You know, what's going to happen with that? And so I was actually reading through some of that this morning. And obviously pretty much the consensus number 1, regardless of who has the number 1 pick, is going to be DeAndre Ayton coming out of Arizona. And I was just reading up a little bit more on him, and one of the things it said, it was like, yeah, you know, the 7 foot, 260-pound freshman, blah, 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 blah. And I was thinking, man, this guy is 7 foot tall and he's 260 pounds. It was like a quick way to make myself look a whole lot better is if I was to take my, 240 pounds or so and stretch it out to 7 foot tall.
Oh,
but
yeah.
but I think that's where we're going to have a lot more fun with the draft lottery tonight, is because we can finally start instituting NBA mock drafts. Bring out Chad Ford.
Absolutely. The follow-up to that, after we watch the ping pong balls, is the actual game, the Eastern Conference Finals, Game 2. And go back to the 25-point blowout from Game 1 in which Boston shocked the world for the most part. LeBron James, again, talking about feeling the game out. I'm going to play that audio again.
Seen every coverage, pretty much. And for me, Game 1 has always been a fill-out game for me. If you ever followed my history, so I got a good sense of the way they played me today, and and how I play going into Game 2.
So my expectation is that LeBron James is going to show up in a big way tonight, and I hate to harp on the statistic. The Celtics have been undefeated this postseason. They've got this run again. They've never lost a series in which they've started off 2-0. But let's face it, the truth is, having home court advantage means that Cleveland has to take one in Boston. Has to take one in Boston in order to win the series. It has to happen. There's no other way around it. And I'm not saying tonight is that night, but I think Brad Stevens said this. I am expecting a heavyweight punch, at least from LeBron James. Now, in order for them to win, I think they need the other Cavaliers, as we mock them. They need the other Cavaliers to show up tonight in order to win. What's interesting when I talk about the real LeBron James is it wasn't as if to me he looked like he was feeling the game out. He looked like he wasn't even involved in the game at times. It seemed, I've seen him struggle in Game 1, but it seemed like there was a distance, almost where it was, who is this guy and what have you done with LeBron James? That was sort of my feeling. I'd never seen him that lethargic and lack of energy, and because he plays with a certain grit and determination at times. I'm expecting to see that tonight. I am
the lethargicness.
No. I'm expecting to see the real LeBron James.
Right.
I'm expecting to see that tonight. I'm expecting to see the fire and passion from him. But I think in order for the Cavaliers to win, he's going to have to get some help from other guys on this team, and they've got to shoot a whole lot better from beyond the arc.
Yeah, I always sometimes wonder if LeBron, when he talks about feeling the game out, if he's necessarily talking about feeling out the other team, or if he's almost feeling out his own team, because we know a guy like LeBron can just flip the switch and turn it on and take over a game. It wouldn't surprise anybody, I don't think, if LeBron went out tonight and had a 60-point triple-double, right? Like, he's proven time and time again that he's capable of dominating and doing whatever he needs to in a game to win it at any point. So maybe, but you mentioned being lethargic, and that's why I thought maybe you thought you would be seeing that again tonight, because that is one thing we've talked about throughout these playoffs is his usage rate, and how many minutes he's spending on the court, because that's what his team has required of him. So look, I know he's a physical freak, but at age 33, when you're this late into the season, it's hard to keep those legs going. You wonder if at some point he starts to wear down a little bit. Now, that doesn't mean I think he will. You talked about what Brad Stevens was saying about him, how he was expecting him to come out and punch and respond. And if you go back through history, LeBron James, other great players, when they fall down 0-1, when they have a poor game, LeBron still played okay, but for LeBron's status, it was a poor game. They always come out and they respond. So that's what I'm fully expecting. Look, the whole thing for Boston predicates on their defense against LeBron James, and that all starts up top with Marcus Morris. I thought Marcus Morris said one of the funniest things I have seen in a long time, because reporters were sort of looking at Morris and saying, why are you able to defend LeBron James? Look at what he just did to the Indiana Pacers. The Indiana Pacers couldn't guard LeBron James. Look at what he just did to the entire state of Canada, and more specifically, the entire country of Canada, and more specifically, the Toronto Raptors. Nobody could guard LeBron James. And Marcus Morris said he'd been studying the film for LeBron against the Pacers and for LeBron against the Toronto Raptors. And he said his biggest takeaway from the film he watched with LeBron against those teams was them dudes can't guard. That's what I pick up. So I really enjoy. That's Marcus Morris doubling down on what he said to me, or said the other day when he talked about he was the second best guy to defend LeBron James in the entire NBA. And look, he backed it up in game one. He seems like he's doubling down on it. And if they get that performance from Marcus Morris, not just defensively but offensively, he was a huge asset in that first game. Look, they say the stupid expression, and I don't buy into it, but the series never starts till the home team loses. Yeah. And Boston still hasn't lost at home in this playoff series. I'm fully expecting Boston to win tonight, but I really think if there's one person in the planet who can go down 3-0 even and then still find a way to come back, it's going to be LeBron James. But I'm still going Celtics in 5.
So, again, tonight here on 252 ESPN Radio, Cavs, Celtics, I'm certainly going to be looking forward to it. I am hoping, without question, that I'll be able to see a bulk of this. If anyone knows who's the director of the West Craven Middle School band, you can pass along a message for him from me, a parent of one of his band students. Yes, that's right. That's right. Someone has scheduled a marching, or it's not a marching, it's a middle school band concert tonight. You couldn't have done this during the Western Conference Final. Did this guy not know that he needed to cater to one specific parent? I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person that's a little bummed that tonight's tonight. Now, mind you, logistically, it may work out for me. It may work out for me, and I may actually be home and not miss very much of it.
I've got the name of the band director. Do you want the name of the band director?
No. I mean, I know who it is too. and I'm picking on the guy. I'm pretty sure this was the best date that they could come up with.
I've got his phone number. If we can just blow it out there, and everybody can just hit up this guy's phone.
What are you doing? And I asked my daughter. I said, "Can I go up there?" Because to me, my wife thinks there's nothing more outrageous. Because I'm 44. And she thinks I should give up wearing the tank top. Do
you wear tank tops?
Only when I'm wearing the Bird Celtics jersey.
Okay. The jersey. Okay. I thought you meant like a wife beater or something like that.
No. So the only time but it's technically a tank top. It's sleeveless.
Right.
And she's like, "You're way too old to be wearing that Bird jersey around." And so I told. So it's part of game day garb. I'm probably going to wear it tonight for the game.
No.
And my daughter's like, "You don't show up at my middle school band concert being the 44-year-old white dude, with no sleeves wearing a Bird jersey."
I think you should. I think that would be really good.
I mean, it's game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals. I have to represent, right?
You know what I wish more children would do, more kids would do? And I wish I did this when I was in middle school, because I was in the middle school band. Yeah. Until 7th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, all 3 years in middle school. I was in the band. So the percussion section, I played the giant bass drum. So it's boom, boom, boom. Took zero musical ability, but my mom always said that she loved that I played the bass drum, because while every other parent, was watching their trumpeter, who was one of 20 trumpeters, couldn't hear it.
Yep.
But everybody knew when I started playing, because you could hear me above everybody. But man, I wish your daughter would give you the okay to Dad, you don't have to come to the band concert. Because I don't know, maybe this is insulting, but I remember the band when I was in band. It was bad. We were bad. It was bad. It wasn't good. There's nothing enjoyable about it. Nobody wants to go to a middle school band concert.
Because they're learning. And so it is, the worst is, and I'm going to be honest, and God bless the kids and them learning the instrument. The 6th grade band concert is the worst, because they're literally just learning the instrument. And so it's like, yes, hot cross buns, which is the same as
buns.
3 blind mice, 3 blind mice. See how they run, see how they run.
Does anybody know the words after that?
I don't know. Something about running off and their tails are cut off, carving knife or something like that.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yes.
Three Blind Mice is a dark song.
Yeah, dark song.
It's not appropriate for children in middle school.
My daughter did say something that did interest me. Now, I don't know. Do you like the epic sounds? I mean, like we do the Avengers theme and like Game of Thrones theme on this.
Right.
I mean, Star Wars is like the greatest epic.
We did the
theme,
Jurassic World or the Jurassic Park theme song one year.
That's
in
what
band.
they're doing tonight.
Oh, okay, that was pretty good. That was the only time I felt good about anything I did in band. Now that was 8th grade.
Wow. Well, yeah, they're doing it in 7th grade.
Wow. Wes Craven's way further along than HJ then.
But I was gonna play it.
Jan Knighton, my old band director. I don't know if she's still ever there anymore, but I miss Jason Barcliffe. Mr. Barcliffe was my 6th grade band teacher, and he was awesome. Then Miss Knighton came in, and everything went downhill. Some people might remember her.
Well,
she wasn't very fun.
I am looking forward to that. Are you looking forward to the new Jurassic Park?
I am so looking forward to
or
it.
whatever it is.
Yeah, man, I got so hyped up the other day when I saw Infinity War. They had an extended trailer for the new Jurassic Park movie. And, dude, when you see Chris Pratt just take control of a raptor, and his raptors are like his dogs. You know what I mean? Yeah, Star-Lord. I mean, that a-hole who ruined everybody's plan to kill Thanos. But
you just spoiled the movie.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
No. You just spoiled Avengers for everybody.
It's been 3 weeks now. It's your fault if you haven't watched it yet. Everybody had to wait for me, but now that I've seen it, spoilers galore.
Too late. Too late. You had your chance. I was trying to find.
What instrument does your daughter play?
She plays the only kid in the entire band that plays tenor sax.
Tenor sax, nice.
There's a lot of those alto saxophonists.
What is a tenor sax? Like, what is that the straight saxophone and doesn't have like the bend on the end of it?
No, it's got the bend. It's a bigger one.
Bigger one, okay.
I guess this is it.
Yeah, oh yeah, this is it. Da-na-na-na-na.
It's taking forever to build up.
That's the beauty of orchestra, man.
See, and I've told you that here's my ultimate problem with bands and middle school bands specifically. It's a feeding. It's a feeder system for marching band, because what you hear in this orchestra, do you hear something? Strings. Nobody's playing the violin, and that's a huge part of the orchestra, man.
I think it sounds better coming out of the brass anyways, though, man.
I'm just saying.
Now, you've seen these band concerts before.
I have.
At this particular middle school, under the same band director who is currently there?
Yes.
How into the directing is he? Is he one of those guys who's a character or pretty laid back?
Pretty straight-laced. I mean,
I need that guy to steal the show.
Yeah, I mean, I want him to be more animated because, I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen like the Bugs Bunny cartoon where he like takes over as the conductor of the orchestra. But
dude, Bugs Bunny was way before me.
I know. But that's kind of the way I want him to do. Like, I want him to be, right, completely animated and over the top.
Absolutely. You don't have to be a good band director to be a good band director. It's like Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr's not a good basketball coach, I don't necessarily think, but you know what he is? He's inspiring and he's a good motivational speaker. That's what the band director needs to do. When that band director gets into it, when they're red in the face, when they're pointing hard at the flukes, and then they throw it over to the clarinets and everybody's feeling it in the whole entire audience, that's when you get a show.
Absolutely. We need to take a break. We will come back. More of East Carolina Sports Show on your ride home is coming up.